What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again. You know what? I think it's time to review a flashlight, but not this one. You guys have seen this one before. This is the Through Night T10, aka my first flashlight. Now, I chose this one for a variety of reasons, and really the main reason is I wasn't into flashlights at all. I was trying to get into the everyday carry scene as I was getting into knives, but I really didn't want to spend a whole lot of time, money, or effort in getting a flashlight. I just wanted something that would work, so I chose this one. I think it's a really wise investment because it's worked all these years. In fact, I think I carried this thing for about a year straight, and it worked flawlessly. I never had it fail or anything like that. I've dropped it plenty of times. It's gotten wet, and it just works. It's a simple AA 3-mode flashlight, and it just works. So why in the world did I upgrade? Why did I get something different? And well, I wish I could say that I would be happy with just this one, but I'm not. Just like with knives, I need more than one. I'm interested in them enough to buy another one, and the one I went with is a very popular model. You guys clicked on the title. It's the Olight S2 Baton. Let's get that in frame here. Now, when I was doing some research on a more quality flashlight for everyday carry, Olight kept coming up. Everybody had positive reviews. Everybody was recommending it, and I know there's lots of great flashlight brands out there, but Olight was just prevalent. It was what was there, and honestly it was one model in particular, and that was the S2 or S1 Baton. And I grabbed the S2 Baton. Why in the world did I do that if everyone loved the S1 Baton so much? Well, I actually had a buddy that has an S1 Baton, and I held it and threw it in the pocket and stuff, and I immediately knew it wasn't for me, at least for everyday carry. And mainly it just didn't fit my hand right. It didn't fit my pocket right. I didn't like its form factor. This to me is just better in the hand. It actually fills up your hand, and it's not chunky as well as short at the same time. Obviously they have the same diameter. The S1 Baton takes one CR123 battery, while this takes either an 18650 or two CR123 batteries. So exact same width or diameter, but this is twice as long, and I think it fits better in my pocket. Now that's just me. I think the S1 Baton's a great light. It's super compact and super bright for what it is, and I think if I had one, which I do want one, I just wouldn't use it for everyday carry. I would put it in some other sort of capacity, maybe on a backpack or in my car. But that being said, let's talk about the amazing Olight S2 Baton, and I mean absolutely amazing. Now, little disclaimer here, I'm not a flashlight nerd by any means, so I'm going to skip over some of the specs that just don't really matter to me. I mean, I don't want to talk your ear off about stuff I really don't know a whole lot about, and that's going to be the lens and all these different angles and all those sorts of light output things that I'm not educated enough to know about. I'm just going to talk about my use with this flashlight from the day I got it. I mean, really, it hasn't changed. This has been on my person every day since I got it. I mean, with very few exceptions. So let's get into some of the specs here. This is a stainless steel bezel, and I believe the body is aluminum. So aluminum has a black anodized, and the stainless steel bezel here has a PVD coating. So you got the black here and then some blue around the button and the bezel itself. So a very good looking light. I like the blue and black theme Olight's going on here, and the fit and finish is fantastic. It really is. I know mine's pretty beat up, not as beat up as you think it would be, and I'll show you guys why here in just a moment. But compared to the Through Night, I see why this costs more. Not only for the lumen output it has, it's more waterproof, it's tougher, all that kind of stuff. It just, the machining on it, the knurling all over it, just to fit and finish, how the threads look after a long time of use. The O-rings have held up a little bit better. So overall, fit and finish is fantastic. Your height on this one is just over 4 inches. It's 4.05 inches, and your diameter at your head is going to be 0.9 inches, and your diameter for the rest of the body is 0.85. So almost an inch for the diameter. And then your weight is 1.78 ounces, and I believe that is naked without a battery in it. And that is just featherweight to me. I mean, we complain about knives being over 4 ounces, with a flashlight like this large being, I mean, under 2 ounces. And we'll even say, let's see here, I think I know by now. Let's say this is 3 ounces with a battery in it. This is an extremely lightweight package that gives you so much capability. Now, here comes some of the boring stuff that I want to get out of the way right now. Let me make sure I got these technical details right here from Olight's site. They claim that the beam distance, and I'm sure this is on high and best conditions with visibility, is going to be 465 feet. Your max lumen output, and that is on high, which is going to be a triple click, is, holy shit, that is bright, is 950 lumens, which, to be completely honest with you, is way too bright for what I need, but I still freaking love it. 950 lumens is just, it's almost absurd for something that you could throw in your pocket. Now, I know, sure, there's brighter lights out there, maybe of the same size, but to me, that is plenty. Now, this does have 5 power levels. Level 1 is going to be that triple click, and that's how, double click is how you get to your max output of 950 lumens. Now, if you do a triple click, you're going to get that insanely bright strobe, which I'm looking away from at the moment because it'll give you an instant headache. I mean, really, that's almost a self-defense feature, but we'll talk about that. But let's get this thing down to low, which you can cycle through these power levels by holding the button down. So we have a 0.5 lumens, a 10 lumen, an 80 lumen, a 400 lumen, and your 950 lumen max output from your double click from an off position. Really, all I use is the first 3 levels, the 0.5, the 10, and the 80. Now, 400 has come in handy outside. If it's nighttime and I drop my keys in the grass in the front lawn or something and I have to go look for them, that'll just light up the whole front yard. But really, the 0.5 lumens to me is for an extremely dark situation where you don't want to throw out a lot of light, as in, you're at home, there's other people around, you don't want to wake up or something. You're in your car and you don't want to blind yourself as you throw 950 lumens out there. Really, 10 and 80 lumens are just kind of your basic, lumen outputs. Those are pretty much good for everything. And your 950 lumens it's going to light up in a huge area. That's an immense amount of light. And as I talked about before, I think that's, oh wow, if I can actually cycle this correctly, that strobe right there, I think, is a signaling device, some sort of self-defense thing to get away from a situation, because really that is intense. Now, the waterproof rating on this is IPX8, and I did some research on those waterproof ratings, and I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in this thing being waterproof. I know it's water resistant, so it's got wet multiple times, and I'll tell you how well this thing has survived. First of all, from a drop rating, we'll talk about that before its water resistance-ness. I've dropped this thing from anywhere from 3 to 7 feet onto very hard surfaces, and it's fine. I don't think it's necessarily rated for that, but I haven't had any issues, which is pretty incredible to me. So I definitely think this is a tough enough build to serve as an EDC light. Now, as a hardcore, bug out bag light or a tactical light or something, maybe not. You should probably get something a little bit beefier, but for your basic, camping trips or your day hike trips and things like that, this is going to perform just fine because it has for me. Now, its waterproof rating was, I don't say it's subpar, I think it's enough, but I've submerged this thing multiple times on accident, and it survived. In fact, this went through the washer with this battery in it, this Phoenix 18650 battery in it, went all the way through a wash and a dryer cycle, and it came out on top. I was so devastated that I thought I ruined this thing. I pulled it out of the dryer, and I was like, oh my god, that's where that's been for the last day. Grabbed it, and it works fine. And it's worked fine ever since. I don't know how in the world it survived. And then just not even 2 weeks ago, this was on a backpack strap as we were tubing down the river. We lost the tube over a waterfall. That was a really funny story. And we found the tube that it had flipped over. My backpack was carabiner to one of the handles. So this was just submerged in water for, 3-4 minutes, and it was completely fine. So I can't tell you that your Olight is going to be completely waterproof, but mine seems to be as waterproof as I'm ever going to need. Now, your run times, I forgot to mention this, on your super high setting of 950 lumens is going to be 3 hours and 10 minutes. Your 400 lumens, which is going to be, that one there is going to be 4 hours and 5 minutes. 80 lumens is 19 hours. 10 lumens is 144 hours, and 0.5 lumens is 60 days of runtime. It's incredible. It's just absolutely incredible to me. And again, take that with a grain of salt. That's under perfect conditions with a very high-powered battery starting at a full charge. Now let's talk about the 18650 battery before we get into anything else here. I've bought one battery for this light. This one right here. This is 3.6 volts. I don't think this is the most powerful battery I could have bought. There's definitely other options out there. But this was on Blade HU. I grabbed it and it's worked fine for, I don't know, 8-10 months. And really, I charged this thing very infrequently. I bought a double bay charger that you just plug into the wall, slap this light in there overnight. And I want to say I charge this thing roughly every 2 weeks. And now keep in mind, I use my flashlight every day, and not for extended periods of time, really. It's really to, oh, where did I throw my keys? I need to grab my backpack out of my car. It's midnight, super dark. I got up, I can't find whatever, my phone. So I use this thing on the daily, and it lasts me 2 weeks. Now, if you're going to be using it on its high setting every day, you probably need to charge it, you know, nightly or maybe every couple of days. But for standard use, and I would consider my use standard, a week, 2 weeks without charge is no issue for this whatsoever. Now, ergonomics on this thing are crazy simple in the hand. You see, it's just a tube shape. That's really all there is to it, and there's some knurling all the way around it, even on the cap there to make screwing and unscrewing it a little bit easier. That's it. Not super grippy, I guess. I mean, it's just really well done grid style knurling, and it really shows when it's wet. I mean, it doesn't get super tacky or anything, but I'm glad it's there. Now, the button itself is some sort of rubberized material. It's very easy to actuate, and that is one criticism I have with this light. If you're going to be carrying it in your pocket, it will inadvertently come out or come on when you least expect it. Now, there's a couple of ways to mitigate that, and I'm going to show you how I do that if I definitely don't want this flashlight to come on. Say I'm going into a movie or something and I don't want to be blinding somebody on accident. This clip is fully rotatable. It's actually removable as well. But if you rotate this clip over that button, you cannot press the button. You see it rides right over it. You can't press that button. It's awesome. And then if you need to use it, you could pull it out, move it barely, and then engage it, and then put it right back. That's all there is to it. So if you really don't want it to come on, that's the way to do it. Now, I haven't carried this Olight in my pocket very often. I actually carry it on my belt. And let me go grab that for you. I'll be right back. I think I've shown this just once before on the channel. I know it's pretty crude. It's out of some fake leather material I had laying around and some black Gorilla Tape. But all this does is it seats this Olight horizontally on my belt. You can see here, it's much easier to do when it's on my person and not just kind of free floating like this, but this is how it rides. Now, there's a couple of reasons I carry it this way. This light in the pocket is slightly thick, and the reason I say that is it's not a huge light by any means. We talked about how lightweight it is, but that diameter is something to consider when you're talking about carrying something in your pocket. Now, we call knives that are over 1/2 inch or 0.6 inches in thickness, folding knives that you throw in your pocket, chunky, and they're thick, and they're, you know, just uncomfortable. This is 0.9 inches in your pocket. So it's definitely substantial as far as the width goes, you know, that's spreading out your pocket, and I didn't really like that. So I do carry it occasionally in my pocket, but this gets rid of that width issue, and it gets rid of the inadvertent, in this life, oh my gosh, I'm sorry guys, this light coming on when you don't want it to, because it's on your belt. It's super easy to carry this way. I never even notice I have it, and it's so easy to access. So this sits, I'm sorry, it's going to be this way, sits right at about 11 o'clock. It's like right in front of me, but as I sit down and stuff, I don't notice it, and I can access it with either hand, which if it's in my left front pocket where it used to sit, that's not the case. So kind of a home remedy there to make my Olight even that much better. So the button, easy to actuate. I don't know if I like the back style buttons more than these side switches. I can't really tell you. I mean, I think each have their place, but really one of the things that it excels at the best is just carrying because of this phenomenal clip. It is deep carry. You see you have, I mean, 1/8 of an inch maybe sticking out of your pocket, and this is going to be pointing this up. So your lens is facing up out of your pocket, but it is super deep carry, and this also functions as a headlamp if you have a hat, which I always have a hat on. I'm actually looking at like 60 hats I have on the wall. That was kind of my earlier obsession in life. This clips onto the brim of your hat, meaning that this is directly on your forehead. and you're shining all that light out there. So is it as good as a dedicated headlamp? No, but it definitely works. I've used it many times at night when I needed to have both hands free. So you have headlamp capabilities, and you have deep carry, everyday carry capabilities. So this did come with a small lanyard that you can throw through there. I don't really see the need with that unless you're doing some water sports or something kind of rigorous where you think you might drop it or lose it. So I don't even know where that is, to be honest with you, but I don't use that. And really there's just a couple other features to talk about here. Like, I don't want to talk about the lens because I'm going to get some things wrong. I don't have a whole lot to compare it to. All I can tell you is it's bright as hell. Its flood isn't huge. It's kind of standard. It's not super clarified, at least the diameter of the, I don't know, the throw that it has out there. But it's good enough. It's clear enough for me, and it's sure as hell bright enough. Now, one of my favorite features about this light is its magnetic tail cap. This has come in handy multiple times. You can see here, it's actually a pretty strong magnet. In fact, I don't have a whole lot of metal stuff around here, but is this metal? No, that's aluminum. I'm throwing stuff around, guys, sorry. Let's actually take this Leatherman out. This is an old Leatherman, and it's actually pretty heavy. I has no problem holding that up. So it'll definitely hold its weight. I've used it when I was working on the car and all sorts of stuff. That magnetic tail cap is awesome. If and only if you don't throw other metallic things inside your pocket, because this sits with the lens facing up, meaning your magnetic tail cap is facing down into your pocket. So if you have maybe a small knife in there, that's a pocket floater, you have some keys in there, as you pull your flashlight out to use it, you're going to have whatever metal contents in that pocket hanging off the back and maybe getting thrown as you take this out of your pocket. So take that into consideration. The magnetic tail cap is both awesome and not the best feature of this light. You got a little battery indication here that tells you where to your positive and your negative sides of your battery, which is good to know. And other than that, I have one slight other criticism, and that is that this tail cap does become loose sometimes. Now, really, to remedy that, you just need to crank this down. So as you can see, it can unscrew fairly easy. If that was right in your pocket all day, there's a good chance that it could do that. You just got to really give it a good turn. I mean, it's going to turn like a 64th of a turn, and it's just locked in there. Now you can see it's not going to just come loose with everyday carry stuff, and then it's got that positive release. So as you screw that down hard, you can hear that. That's what you guys want to do before you throw this in your pocket. Now let's get to final conclusions, because this video is insanely long, and I do apologize about that, guys. This light, as the title suggests, is good at everything. Everything that I've tried with the Olight S2 Baton, it has conquered with flying colors. Now, I think I would put it in this terms though. I don't think this is the best EDC light, best hiking light, camping light, or anything like that. I think it pretty much gets a B+ across the board. Meaning, it's really the jack of all trades when it comes to flashlights, because it's a great size, it's nice and lightweight, it's bright as hell, it's versatile, the battery lasts for a long time, it's got just enough modes, it's not too complicated to use, and it has a variety of carry options. Now, something like this ThruNite T10, I think excels a little bit more in an everyday carry scenario. It's a little bit smaller, might even be a little bit easier to use. So let's say that ranks as an A- on an everyday carry scale, but as a hiking light, a camping light, a kayaking light, or anything like that, this just doesn't really work. It kind of fails. Whereas the Olight is literally good at everything. So I highly recommend it. In fact, I want to get so many more products from Olight. I'd like to get an S1 baton, a headlamp, some of the rechargeable series, because they are indeed awesome. So thanks for sticking it out, guys. If you're looking for a do-it-all light, I think these are going to come in at 50 or 60 bucks. You will not be disappointed with this. Now, I do not know how this light performs with two CR123 batteries. I'm sure the performance is hindered a little bit, so I would urge you to get a rechargeable, and I think almost all of them are rechargeable, 18650 batteries here. Grab one of these, get a dual bay charger or even a single bay. That's all you really need. You are going to be one happy camper. So thanks for watching, as always, and remember, have fun with your lights.